Teach your kids to decode ingredient labels, balance healthy snacks, and share mealtime duties for harmonious and nutritious meals. We continue into our water fluoridation history to learn how to manage fluoride levels at home. Let's discover together.
The Discovery Doc Podcast, where your journey to empowered, non-toxic living begins. Join me, Dr. CeCe, a doctor of nursing practice, self-proclaimed toxin tamer, and mama of four, alongside
me, Annah Kate, your medical mystery overachiever. Together, we'll uncover the latest in functional medicine, debunk health myths, tame toxins, and provide practical tips for thriving in a modern world.
Get ready to take control of your health with expert insights, raw stories, and actionable wellness strategies designed to help you and your family lead vibrant, toxin-free lives. Let's discover together.
We know how this guy gets fed. He gets right on her boobs.
You get the boobs.
Mama makes it. But we have seen on Instagram that you make special meals for your family, and then he gets to eat blueberry pancakes
every meal.
Yeah. We get a choice. Yeah, when mommy comes, you get a choice of what you want for dinner. You want dinner or breakfast? Yeah, your daddy does that for you. Yeah,
This is not what we're trying. We really are trying to give him like nutrient dense foods.
Yeah.
So he's had ghee. We let him chew a T-bone the other day.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Really?
That's so good.
And like olive oil with avocados. And we have some chicken liver that I want well to cook because I don't touch liver or organ meats. But I want to go to this guy. He's had sweet potatoes. He gets all the good stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, this dude cooks breakfast, lunch, and dinner for our entire family. And our kids go through an insane amount of food.
It's ridiculous.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
Okay, time out. You are raising now athlete number 4. So that's just going to get even more important that because your kids are really good eaters. They're really good eaters. So getting them that diverse nutrition and stuff that they'll eat and stuff that they like. So, and then it's not pizza rolls and bagel bites. And you got to cook for them.
I cook. Yeah, I do.
And it's from day one.
Yeah, and it's pretty. I don't want to say it's easy because everybody has different circumstances. I mean, they're not able to afford some of the things that we are feeding our kids and things of that nature, and you have to pay respect to that, right?
Or just don't know.
Or just don't know. Also, but I think it's been pretty easy to keep us all on the healthier side of things because in my previous career, I had to eat a certain way.
He's tired now. We'll talk about that in a minute.
I had to eat a certain way and carry myself a certain way and understand what I'm putting in my body, how much I'm putting out while I'm being active and busy.
Yeah.
And not just being in the gym and training, but also just walking around and moving and being active, having to be aware of how much energy I was burning and having to put those vital things that I needed back into my body. So now, since day one with Ava, we just kept it rolling because she came along while I was still competing, while I was still
so she was
training.
like she was in a training camp with Will.
Yeah.
Even now, like Ava does
Gymnastics.
so that 4.5 hours of gymnastics 3 times a week.
Yeah.
Like she's level 5, 4, 5. 5. She's level 5 gymnast. Woo. But that's a lot. And then we definitely are, trying to ingrain that, hey, this food is meant to nourish you. It's meant to support you and help you recover, but also help to, your body just be more efficient. And so they are really, really good eaters. Now, we absolutely have our treats for sure.
Yeah.
And I have my treat box that I let them get things from that as mommy approved, diet free.
Yeah, I mean, even then, everything, like as far as treats, if we have cookies or brownies or something like that, everything is made from scratch.
Yeah.
And
it's not every day.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
it's like every other day.
Yeah.
Like I say, like you keep a good balance. And again, it did help that all of them have been born during my competing in my career, except for this one. I maybe had one last fight with him while he was here, or no. I'm not even sure. But again, it's been pretty easy.
More life.
Keeping them being able to get them to eat everything has been pretty not crazy hard. Every day they're kids, so one day they love broccoli and then the next day they hate it. And I like chicken, and then it's like, no, I don't like chicken. And it's just kind of that whole battle. And And you just start figuring out, all right, well, how do I cook these things that they apparently don't like, but cook them in a fashion where they don't even know
Like,
probably enjoy them a little bit more.
they don't like them unless they're like super crispy.
Yeah.
Okay, so cast iron.
And I put that on you because like there was a while where they were just eating it.
Yeah.
And then mommy decided
And
I don't really like them when they're crispy.
I do all that.
And spicy aioli and all this. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Now that's all our kids can say. Yeah, people.
If it doesn't come with aioli, we're not eating.
Yeah. Now our kids, that's the only way they want it. I'm like, listen, until you guys start chipping out all these fawns.
But they're good. They now, like, even Jackson now get their own snacks for school.
Yeah.
But they understand kind of the mixture of things. Like, yes, we can have like made good granola balls or a salad bar. But then you're having a piece of fruit and a beef stick. Like,
Yeah.
they know to consciously kind of add in some protein instead of grabbing,
Just Jackson.
and chips. Yeah.
But I mean, that's all they have too, though. It's also
Right,
it's kind of hard for them to select anything else.
But we
Because
take them to the store. Like on Sundays now, we have kind of this routine and we go to church and then we go to the store afterwards. And we let them, yes, it's a specific little that I know I'm good things.
Yeah.
But we let them, like, we're like, hey guys, like, go pick out stuff that you like. And they know it's the last us. Ava now turns around the ingredients and reads this. And they're like, hey, can we get these? And I'll read it. I'll be like, maybe let's find something else. What about these? Or they pick something out. I'm like, yeah, these are great. So we definitely try to give them freedom there because we want them to be able to look at these things and be like, okay, do I want to consume this? Yes or no? But then also when we stack our pantry full of snacks and when they go to get things for school, we know that we like it. And then we give them the freedom to choose in that situation too, because they don't all want the same snack.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's big. And then he makes these beautiful like
Yeah.
that wasn't like just professionally made. And
Back on the parents.
and cooks every meal. The amount of dishes we have, can I just say?
Yeah.
Only downfall to them cooking every.
That's the only downfall. I've gotten better. I clean it as I cook now, but it's I don't know. I grew. That's like I said. Like I touched on it before. I grew up in a little bit more of a chaotic environment, so I had to cook and learn how to do those things. My dad worked like 2 or 3 jobs at a time at points in my life in my childhood, so it was up to me to cook sometimes, and I just kind of fell in love with it. So now it's like, all right, well, if you love something, you enjoy it. Now it's just translated to being a dad and a husband. Like that's pretty much, I think that's how I do things. Like I just take the things that I enjoy, and now it's like, oh, it's a necessity now. So then it's like, okay, I enjoy it. It's a necessity. Why don't I just do it? I got to do it anyway. So might as well make it look good and taste good while I'm doing it, right?
Sure.
But,
I've been asking for slightly crispy enchiladas.
Yeah, slightly crispy.
Flexible.
Yeah.
And reasonable request.
Well,
Not just, can we have enchiladas?
No, I
It's
want it not like
crispy.
slightly crispy where I bite into it and there's a nice little crunch.
Yeah,
That's what I want.
yeah. Listen to you.
I'm going to teach you something. My dad, whenever we would ask for, my dad would say, it's nice to want things.
Yeah. Well, I usually hit her with, like, I want a lot of things, but I don't get everything.
Or the amount of time our kids ask, Daddy, what are we having for dinner? And he's like, food.
Yeah. So it's like,
Stop asking me. Food.
yeah. Don't ask me. If you're not helping to cook the food, then maybe once in a while you just eat.
Although, I came down Saturday and Jackson was in a cute little baseball uniform, standing at the stove cooking scrambled eggs. And it was the cutest thing.
Yeah, he's been.
Yeah, he makes his own sandwiches, he wants to make toast. Like, he really, really tries to help. It's very.
And that's the cool part about it, too, is that the kids they want to be a part of everything. They want to help with everything. And I think for Jackson, like, I really try to, I want him to be capable of doing a lot of different things. And as a husband, I think I have a responsibility to teach him what I think a husband should be. And cooking is one of those jobs that I think, regardless of whatever circumstance, relationship be, maybe his wife or whoever his partner is, like, will be cooking, but I still want him to have the ability to do that.
Like,
and that independence and knowing that he can do that. He's always in the kitchen with me. He wants to come and help me. Is there times where I'm like, hey, bud, like, I gotta move a little quicker today. You know, I'll tell them that. But for the most part, yeah,
It ain't feel like that because how many men do we know that are dependent on women cooking, cleaning, doing all the household things, right? Like, I mean, my dad was that. My dad, there would be a mug standing right there, and he would ask my mom, who's across the room, to get it for him. And she's like, but you're right there.
Yeah.
Like, you
can reach it.
Yes, but it was that late.
I've tried that a couple.
You have it, but it was that late.
I've done it, but us.
Like,
To get you the automatic
had
that
to- he never had to do like, you know, put a dish away. He never had to cook. He never had to clean. He never had to do anything. So if he like, I don't even know if he knew how to. No offense, but you know, for Jackson, when we do laundry, like yesterday, what was it, 2 days ago, we were doing laundry, and Ava was helping me fold, and Jackson's putting away the clothes, and I'm like, just as a girl or a boy, to just be able to take care of himself, to cook, to clean, to like clean up after yourself, so that as he gets older, like it's an extra bonus. And yeah, if he has a partner who does that for him, wonderful, but he's not going to be reliant.
Yeah.
There's such a thing as mutual chores.
Yeah.
So my husband does the dishes. He's great at doing them anytime they need to be done. But he'll always come home. It's like 5 o'clock. I still do it wrong, but I do it.
Amazing. That is amazing.
I'm like,
Is that just a wife thing, or is that like? Because CeCe cannot do dishes. She'll take 2 or 3 dishes out of the sink.
Dr. Brooks on this podcast.
Oh, excuse me, Dr. Brooks. Dr. Brooks. She'll take 2 or 3 dishes out of a full sink and cause chaos in the dish.
I'm not good at
Just like, oh, do it here.
Like, I just don't, things go in and things come out. And I don't want to.
Yeah, if things come out and they're never fully clean because they were stacked on top of something. And
no, I don't do that. But he'll rearrange. I'll put stuff in, and he'll add more stuff and rearrange everything.
yeah,
take everything out and rearrange it.
And get everything in.
And hear everything.
Because she'll fill it and then be like, oh, what am I going to do with the rest of these dishes? And I'm like, oh, I'll show you and redo it. And then we got an empty sink.
So I'm waiting for Will Brooks meal planning, because at 5 o'clock, Mark will get home and he'll be like, what's for dinner? And I'm like, whatever's in the fridge. Because usually he can throw something on the grill and like we'll do carnivore or whatever for dinner. And then I literally breathe it, hey, burger or steak or hot dog, whatever you want. And then, so sometimes he's like, I don't want what's in the fridge. Just tell me what we're having. And I'm like, well, then we're having nothing. I made enough for leftovers and there's something in the freezer. So like, cause it's just us. So it's not so, you know, on days that he's been at work all day and I've been here recording with you, we'll both pull into the driveway at the same time and walk in the house. And he's like, what's for dinner? I'm like, same thing you have planned, whatever you have planned.
Right.
He's like, well, it's for you to plan. And I'm like, well, whatever's in the fridge.
Yeah.
Like,
no, we, on days, like, it gets a little chaotic but we've gotten in our groove. Like, Jackson has baseball now at night, and we'll get out at like 6:30. And then there's nights where Ava doesn't get out in gymnastics until 8:30. And so on the days Jackson has baseball, that's the one night a week that we order.
Mm-hmm.
But if we're ordering, it's salads and like I could love salad and whatever, chicken, gluten-free pizza, whatever it might be. But we do one night a week where we order.
Yeah.
Otherwise, okay, how do you know? Otherwise, it is all. Yeah, they call them all homemade. Yeah, all homemade. Yeah. And this dude just has the life of eating whenever, wherever.
Well, we also have like restaurants that we kind of put on our list of places that we're comfortable with getting food from or having take out from, so that helps. And just like Crust, for example, and Jackson has baseball and it's got gymnastics.
it's a local pizza place and it's really, really good.
Really, really good, high quality food, just quality ingredients, things of that nature. And so we do that. And then once in a while, you know, honestly, we'll end up at Shake Shack if it's like, look, worst case scenario, it's getting late, let's make a move, and Shake Shack is the spot. But yeah, for the most part, everything is pretty much taken care of. We get our leftovers, but now I'm trying to focus on having less leftovers.
Yeah.
Because we cook so much, like it never gets eaten, and I cook for too many people. Not just trying to get the ratios right, and so we're trying to figure that out. So we're not wasting food as much, or we've gotten a lot better with that. So, yeah.
Well, is there anything else that has changed in having life or living life with a family of 6 for you?
I think another big thing is that he did retire, so he's not fighting anymore. And that has changed our routine a bit. So he now coaches at night, either at 6:30 or 7:30, which is great because we, for a long, well, I'll let you talk. It's your job.
No me.
I'm just going to say for a while, like after he retired, we were kind of in this in-between of, okay, we homeschool the kids. We don't want to jeopardize that. We don't want someone else raising our kids. We don't want to pay somebody to raise our kids for him to go work during the day. So what can we do that doesn't take away from how we want to raise our kids with him being home the days that I am in the office? And then where we can still operate, basically how we can still operate as we do. And so luckily, coaching kind of came available to him and to coach where he could pick the times that he wanted to do.
Yeah.
And so even though it kind of stinks some nights with him getting home at like 9:15, it really works for us because he can still like get even to gymnastics if I'm at the office and then I'm home, he starts dinner. I come home from work, I sit and eat with the kids, the dinner's already made, and I sit down and eat with the kids. He goes to work, he comes back, I put all the kids to bed. And so it works.
It works, but you've been honest.
But it's not.
It is tough.
Yeah. Not safe.
Now we're kind of like, passing in the night, like crossing our paths.
Yeah, so we don't.
We don't have the time. It's not that we don't have the time. I think we have recently just got caught up in just doing the work. And I think that's when you like start thinking, oh, we don't have the time. Then you stop. And we just had a conversation a few days ago and just had to be very honest and open about things and vulnerable about things. You stop and you start looking at the schedule and all this other stuff. And it's like, oh, we do have the time. We've just been so caught up in like, oh, this is so stressful. Oh, this is like, this is just
work.
Yeah.
And you just
get stuck.
Checking all the boxes.
Right. You're checking boxes.
No balls get dropped.
Exactly. And then you stop to think about it and you start looking around. It's like, well, like there's a bunch of time that we have. It's an ideal where it's like, all right, we might have to have like a lunch date or something like that, or a breakfast date or something. Maybe not so many of our late night, like dinner and movies and things like that. But we also haven't put the effort into finding a babysitter for Jake's. And again, that's because we just got caught up in just going through the motions and be like, well, this is how it's set up and this is how we want to do it.
Or like he's not sleeping and he's breastfeeding and I can't really leave him. Like I put him down at 7, but he's up at 9:30. So it's like, what, you need 30 minutes to come back? Like but it turns into excuses at some point.
It just becomes like reasons, like excuses and reasons why and all that stuff. And then you start learning how to like appreciate, like even if it's just 30 minutes. We got to find appreciation in that, and I think people overall we've been kind of coached and directed into having this high pace, like hustle, grind, do this, do that, and the other thing, to where we're kind of lacking that ability to just appreciate like 25, 30 minutes. Yeah. Like maybe you don't go out and party and do all this other stuff that you used to do. But you sit down and
one for the record.
Have conversation. Well, she's an introvert. She's a
newly found introvert.
Yeah. So odd.
Very hard. It's very hard.
Yeah. But it's just finding new ways to enjoy each other, enjoy our time and things like that instead of just
make it
feeling like it's not enough.
Yep.
So there's some
I think that's been we didn't really have that after our other kids. I think this is the first one because even with Jada, we kind of just went right back into it. Like we had date nights pretty soon after.
Yeah.
Because we had a babysitter at the time, but I also wasn't breastfeeding.
Right.
And so we could do that earlier. And he's not a great sleeper, but he's gotten better. Yeah.
The season. But it won't always be the season.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing, right? Like you recognize the season. I think that was the one thing that we kind of got caught up with was like recognizing the season and deciding that, oh, this is just a season, so this is we can't change the season. Like we can, like he can drift into new seasons, and influenced them in some small part. So it's kind of where we're at right now, is trying to get back to just like
the balance of us,
a balance of us
and
the kids.
But you'll still travel and do lots of family stuff together. And
but as Will has pointed out on many a time, traveling with children is just parenting in a new location. So like we don't really get time to spend together, where I love it and it fuels my cup because I love watching the kids like make these experiences. And like in Belize, even Jackson were free diving in the middle of the ocean, like free diving, no floaties, no nothing. Like they are amazing swimmers. Even the local guide was like, "This is amazing." Like he was super diving, and they're with nurse sharks and it's
6-year-old and 8-year-old, and
so I was just like, this, like that fuels my cup. Like I don't.
Jada jumped in the water and was like, "I wouldn't put in myself."
Jada's never going to be left out.
No,
she should never be left out.
Well, like that does fuel me because I love watching them have an amazing time and like build these relationships and experiences, but it's not necessarily our time. And so it is a balance. I've really tried, and it goes in cycles of slowing down. Like my goal is not to be this crazy busy person. It is like that right now, but I would love to slow down the pace. My personality, like I'm very type A, so when I get in the groove of doing things, it's just packed. Get them done. Like harder to sit down and enjoy things.
Yeah. Now
I'm working
what type
opposite. Very opposite.
When I get into it, but when I get to it and I do it, it's gonna be the best of the year. So
it might be months later.
It might be a few little while after.
It might be.
But that's
navigating like how our marriage changes based on another child who is prioritizing us and finding the ability to do that in the midst of 4 kids.
It's just
where we're at.
I think that's when people get in trouble a little bit with not being honest and vulnerable with, hey, it's just tough, but it's not tough to where like it's impossible. It's just tough. Tough times don't last.
You were worth the change of season. Yeah, you were worth the change of season.
In this segment of Discovery Doc Deep Dives, we are going to go into labor and delivery and postpartum guides that this chick over here created firsthand to help not only her navigate through labor and delivery and postpartum, but also to give you an incredible resource of how to navigate it yourself and give yourself some empowerment and set things up and kind of have a game plan.
Exactly. So number one is if you guys hear a little honker in the background, that's my son who is 7 months old and he's sleeping and he is just a noisy sleepers. But here we are. We have made it to the Discovery Doc podcast couch. And so we are doing the thing.
Yeah.
So yes, there are a couple of guides that I have created, a bunch actually that focus around pregnancy and then postpartum. The first one is just, cholestasis is a huge one. So by now this month, you guys know that my first 2 kiddos, I had cholestasis, and cholestasis is something that is said in conventional medicine can't be beat, can't be reversed. You have it, you have to get induced early, and that's just it.
Myth busted.
Because in pregnancy number 3, I completely avoided it. And then pregnancy number 4, I did not do my due diligence by following the protocol that I created as a guide for y'all. And so I did that protocol in my 3rd pregnancy with Jade and completely avoided it. And I have patients who use that same protocol as well. I just didn't like happened. I didn't follow it. I was not a compliant patient to myself. And we had a big stressful event around 30 weeks postpartum or 30 weeks in pregnancy. And cholestasis came on literally overnight. So when it comes on that quickly, that means my bile acid levels and my liver enzymes like shot up like crazy right away. And so then I spent the next 2 weeks reversing them. And by after 2 weeks, they started to come down. And by week 4, they completely were 0. So liver enzymes, AST, ALT, alkaline phosphatase were all normal and bile acids were 0. That is quote unquote unheard of. So I altered my cholestasis protocol or guide that I'd put together for avoiding cholestasis and actually added in, okay, what happens if you get it, or, you don't follow the protocol and you still get it, or maybe simply start appearing even on the protocol, what can I do? And so here's what to add in if symptoms actually start or bile acids start to go up. And this is how I reversed it as well. And so I'm very thankful for that experience because it made me dive into that situation. Like, what if it does come on and you're doing all the things? Now what?
Yeah.
And so there's always more that can be done. There's always an option. So that cholestasis, feeding cholestasis naturally, is a guide that we have. We also have
So that guide is good. That even if you're a first-time mom, because you never know if you're going to get cholestasis if this is your first pregnancy. So, holy crap, what do I do if this happens? That it's just great to have in the arsenal.
Yeah, and if you're at an increased risk, if your mom had cholestasis in pregnancy or a sister, a sibling, then you are definitely at an increased risk. So those are patients who are people who I would definitely recommend grabbing it. There is another one that does kind of a deep dive into kind of just the ultimate guide of pregnancy and postpartum that combines everything. It combines, okay, what supplements do I take in pregnancy to sustain a healthy pregnancy, to help maintain just my detox pathways and my gut health and support my immune system in pregnancy safely? What are detox modalities that I can safely use or do in pregnancy? More physical modalities. What are things that I should plan to have before I have the baby on hand for postpartum? What are supplements that help me recover and heal postpartum? What are things that I can have on board in terms of nourishment and just recipes of just enriching foods that will help me heal? So there's a big old guide of kind of my ultimate pregnancy and postpartum guide that goes through all of that. Included in that is also a home birth checklist. I put together my entire checklist of everything that I had. So even patients who have sorry, I keep saying patients, I'm so used to it. Even women who have hospital births, there's still a lot of good information on that checklist of just things maybe you didn't think about. And I hyperlinked all my favorites. So you can get that on its own, or it's part of that ultimate guide as well. There's a hair loss postpartum. Holy moly, with this baby postpartum, I lost half my head of hair, and I didn't go through that intense of hair loss and with any of my other babies. So I was like, hold the phone. Like,
what is happening?
Right. Let me create a protocol real quick for this. And I did that as well. So that's up there, for kind of navigating that postpartum hair loss. Mastitis is something that's really common in women postpartum. So how can we avoid it? What can we do to set us up for success with breastfeeding or avoiding mastitis? If it does come on, how can we avoid antibiotics? What are some things at home that we can do, modalities, and also natural remedies that help to support, prevent, and or treat mastitis? So we got an arsenal of guides that are really
labor,
good.
delivery, postpartum, all covered.
Yes, all covered in there. And these are all things that I did personally. So, you know, they are, of course, things that I recommend to patients, but I recommend them to patients because I did it myself and I developed it and it worked really well for me. It works really well for our patients. Or it's things that I actually use, like everything on that home birth checklist was actually what I used, you know? So it's very personal to me.
I wonder if a male OB did this protocol list. No. Again, no uterus, no opinion. There's just, I don't know. I just kind of feel that. So, but she has gone through it. She's tested it, tried and true, you know, and if you get this guide and you think that there's something else that we can add that, hey, this was very beneficial and helped you through your pregnancy, and labor and delivery or all of those things, share it with us. Let us know because we can always update the guide. And
absolutely.
This is her personal list that she used and executed for sure.
Very near and dear to my heart, y'all. So I hope it helps. Even just one woman out there.
Yeah, I think it will. Absolutely.
Welcome back to Toxin Taming. We are in number 3 of taming this toxin.
Yes.
What are we doing in step 3?
All right. So we know where fluoride comes from at this point in time. We know what it is. The first step in containing it is figuring out where in your home it's coming from. So finding out how concentrated it is in your water is the first step. So you can get a home water test from your local home improvement store or send samples of it to your local health department. keep in mind that if you're sending it to your local health department, they consider a certain decibel of fluoride to be normal. And so they aren't going to come back and say that that's an abnormal finding. If you want an unbiased finding, then you need to send it to a state certified lab or an independent lab for analysis.
It's going to test all the numbers and give you all of the ratings. And we did talk about this in season 1. I'm talking about water, so we go in a little more depth about this. So go check out that episode.
Yeah, they won't consider it a contaminant. So you don't get a true reading. My baby's here. If they do not view it as a true contaminant.
Yeah.
So I would suggest a more specialized or independent lab. Once you have a good idea of how much fluoride is in your water, then you'll want to know how to get it out. It's also important in your personal care products. We've talked about it being in your toothpaste, mouthwash, as well as in tooth whitening products, what it can appear as. There's different names in the ingredient list that fluoride can appear as.
Because it's not always just fluoride.
Exactly. So some of these are sodium fluoride, sodium monofluorophosphate, and stannous fluoride or stannous fluoride. Who actually knows how to say that? I don't know. But it can usually appear as one of those 3 ingredients. So look at your personal care products, look at your mouthwash, your toothpaste, your tooth whitening products. If it has any of those, you know that you are getting exposed to fluoride.
Okay, so the one to really look out for, some of them say fluoride in their name.
Yes.
So sodium monofluorophosphate doesn't have fluoride written out explicitly. So make sure you're looking for fluoride's easy to find when you're looking for it in a list, but that one you wouldn't know. So keep an eye out on that one.
And even when things say fluoride free, still turn it around and read the ingredients. So they can get sneaky in there.
Yeah, read those labels. They're turn and learn.
Yeah, they're allowed to say fluoride free as long as it doesn't contain a certain percentage of fluoride.
Which doesn't mean it's actually fluoride free.
Yes, exactly. So then if we do find it, what do?
We listen to the next episode to learn how to ditch and switch.
Exactly.
I'll see you in the next one.
On this segment of Medical Myth Busting, fluoridated water is good for us. Yes or no? No.
Y'all know the answer to
Saw
this.
that one coming.
Saw this one coming. So this goes along with our toxin for the month, which is fluoride. So I want to kind of dive into the history of it first, and then kind of lead into the next episode as to whether it's good in our drinking water or not. So if we go back, or as of kind of right now, about 66% of public water systems in the U.S., which serve about 170 million of us, I can't say this word, so I'm going to say have fluoridated. I can't say that word.
You said it great.
Fluoridated by the start of the 21st century. But most countries in Western Europe, from France to Germany and everywhere in between, Italy, Switzerland, continue to reject adding fluoride into their water. But hey,
why?
United States...
Why in America do we have to just be so chemical laden on everything that we put in our system?
Because of our history. So there was a scientist that was working under a grant from the Aluminum Company of America.
Hey, this kind of goes back to that FDA. We just make it and we just tell them what is safe.
Exactly.
And they sign off on it.
So this scientist, again, working for the Aluminum Company of America, made the initial public proposal in 1939 to add fluoride to public water supplies in in order to prevent tooth decay. I'm sorry, so it wasn't a dentist, it wasn't a doctor, it was a scientist who worked for an aluminum company that presented this initially. Y'all, does that even make sense? No. So in 1945, the first barrels of sodium fluoride were added to drinking water in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Okay? So, AK, what do you know about that and kind of the chemical waste?
Okay.
Can you link that together?
Yeah, so somewhere along the way, there is a fluoride byproduct from the aluminum company.
Exactly.
That they just decided that, hey, we can make money with this. And instead of just dumping it into the water system, into to the groundwater, we could sell it to water companies and say it's going to be beneficial for your teeth, for your health. It'll make you healthier. But guess what? Fluoride is not a mineral that is in your body. Your body does not make it. It's not naturally in your teeth.
It bioaccumulates, y'all. It bioaccumulates, and it's a neurotoxin anyways. But it is, yes, exactly. All the things that she just said. So once the U.S. Public Health Service endorsed putting fluoride in water a few years later, other cities and states followed suit. And there were some campaigns, again, that were public campaigns, relation campaigns, so i.e. marketing, that were funded by who?
Aluminum and fertilizer industries.
To further fuel adding fluoride to water. I'm sorry. Okay, again, so these aluminum and fertilizer industries are the ones who paved the way, paid for marketing, paid for this stuff to get out there to say, hey, this will help to protect your teeth. Let's add it to all the drinking water. Y'all, what?
Would you buy that supplement from Poop and Scoop Fertilizer Industries for your teeth? Like,
right.
Okay, let's come up. Okay, I want your pitch on if you were the aluminum and fertilizer company, how would you pitch this in the most satirical, funny way of, hey,
yes,
we scooped the poop and found the fluoride and now you get to drink it.
Right, because it's good for your teeth.
For $9.99.
Yeah. And of course, anyone who was against it was completely shut down because there is nothing quote unquote negative in the media even now to say that fluoride is bad. And there's we'll talk about this next episode. But anyways, y'all, we just wanted to drop a little nugget on the history of how fluoride came to be in our water supplies. And it was not by, again, professionals, doctors, these scientists who were dedicated their lives to the health of teeth. It was somebody who came from an aluminum company.
It was a manufacturing byproduct that they found a way to make more money.
Exactly.
Well, there's lots of myths and busting that we have to do on that, and a few. So we've got a couple of history lessons coming up.
Yeah, stay tuned for the next episode because we are going to dissect if it actually protects our teeth in the water or not. And until then,
let's discover together.
We've explored how giving kids autonomy and snack choices can lead to healthier eating habits and greater independence. We've uncovered practical tips for mastering the chaos of meal planning and how sharing cooking duties can enhance family bonds. Lastly, we initiated the fluoride conversation, diving into its controversial beginnings and how to track its presence in your home.
We'd love to see you around. So become an insider at thediscoverydoc.com to gain exclusive access to bonus content, helpful resources, and the latest updates. Also, leave a review wherever you listen to podcasts. Your support helps others discover our show and join our wellness-driven community. Explore more resources at thediscoverydoc.com, your one-stop destination for practical tips, expert advice, and inspiring stories on achieving optimal health. And follow us on all the social media platforms at The Discovery Doc for daily wellness wisdom and engaging updates. Thank you for joining us on this journey towards a happier, healthier you. Stay curious, stay informed, and we'll see you next time. Before you go, this is the part where we have to get a little serious. Just a little. Please remember that the information shared in this podcast is for general informational and entertainment purposes only. While we strive to provide accurate and helpful information, we're not here to replace your doctor or healthcare provider. Think of us as your friendly health enthusiast gal pals who love sharing what we know, but always remember to consult with a qualified medical professional before taking any action based on the content of this podcast. And just like the Pirates Code, this disclaimer may change from time to time, so be sure to check back for updates. Stay healthy, stay happy, and don't forget to laugh. It's good for you.